Visible?
Yes, sir. Anterayas.
Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Do you know why we repeat the word Shanti 3 times? Do you know? When we chant any Shanti mantra, we say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Why? Do you know? Anyone, please? If you know, please raise your hand. And do you know why?
Okay, Jagadish sir has mentioned. So it is for the three Adi Devata, Adi Bhautika, and Adhyatmika. So they should bless us as that we should do whatever we are doing should be done without any hindrance.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah. That means through this chanting, we are trying to carve our 3 types of dukkhas. And at the end, we must reach the world which is free from the 3 types of dukkhas. That is why we chant the Shanti for 3 times. Okay, so today's topic is concept of Antarayas, Chitta Vikshepas and techniques of Chitta prasadana. And as you have so many lectures in this week on philosophy, that is why again I plan to make this lecture very short. So let's start. First thing, another question I would like to ask you that we discussed about Iswara and Iswara Pranidhana, right? And we discussed the results, 2 results of Iswara Pranidhana. Can you remember the 2 results of Ishwara Pranidhana? Anyone, please? Chitra ma'am. What are the results of Ishwara Pranidhana?
Sorry, sir. Ishvara Prasadana. It's total surrender I had written.
Yeah, but what is the result? Now we discussed that we have 2 results. We can gain 2 type of. Anyone? Can you remember? Okay. We discussed that.
Introspection and destroys all physical and mental obstacles in the path of yoga.
Right. The first one is from Iswara Pranidhana, the power of self introspection arises. And the second one is we can gradually destroy, we can curb our obstacles in the path of yoga, the Anterayas, right? Now, the students of yoga have very relevant question that, oh, Sir Patanjali, you have discussed about the Iswara and the Iswara Pranidhana. Yes, we have understood what is Iswara, what is Iswara Pranidhana. Again, you have discussed about the results of Iswara Pranidhana, and we have again understood that there are 2 results. But you have mentioned that we can overcome the Antarayas. Now, what are the Antarayas? What is the nature of the Antarayas? How can I identify that I am under the grip of the Antarayas? How can I identify that I am leading by the obstacles? So now, he says that व्याधि स्तेन संशय प्रमाद आलस्य अविरति भ्रांति दर्शन अलब्ध भूमिकत्व अनवस्थितत्वानि चित्त विक्षेपाः ते अंतरायाः. Very interesting sutra it is. So now we have another word, chitta vikshepaha. That means Patanjali here gives us a synonym of the term antaraya. So antaraya means obstacles in the path of yoga. Now we have another synonym of antaraya, and the synonym is chitta vikshepa. Chitta vikshepa, the word chitta vikshepa, the term chitta vikshepa means the disturbances of chitta, the distractions of chitta. So the chitta vikshepa, the term is not only the synonym of antaraya, but it explains the nature of antaraya. It explains the modus operandi of the antaraya. What are the antarayas? Antarayas are those which make our chitta disturbed. And when our chitta remains disturbed, it uh, it plays a role like a bridge between the external world and the seer, and now seer can experience the external world. So when chitta remains calm, it the bridge is broken between the external world and the seer. But due to antarayas, chitta becomes active because these antarayas create disturbances in our chitta, and again it helps chitta to make that bridge between the external world and the seer. So this is the beauty of these two words. Actually, chitta vikshepa is not only the synonym of the antaraya, but it actually explains the nature and modus operandi of antaraya. So now we have understood what is antarayas, what is the modus operandi of antarayas. Now, which are the antarayas? He has prescribed 9 antarayas: Vyadhi, Tena, Sansaya, Pramada, Alasya, Avirati, Bhranti Darshana, Alabdha Bhumikatva, Anavasthitatva. We have to understand all these terms. Okay. In very brief, I will make it very short. The first one is Vyadhi, disease. You all know that disease is a common obstacle in the path of our success, right? And it is same for the yoga practitioners. If you remain sick, then you can't practice asanas, you can't practice meditation, you can't practice pranayama, you can't read the books, you can't follow my lecture, you can't follow Jagdish sir's lecture, and it will become an obstacle. And that is why in our Shastra Parampara it is said that Shariram Adyam Khalu Dharma Sadhana. Our body is the primary means for the fulfillment any kind of duties, any kind of target. So you have to maintain, you have to maintain a sound health. Okay, so it's very common. We can understand it easily. Now, stena and alasya. Stena, the second one is stena, and fifth one is alasya. Both are the term of laziness. Both are term of the laziness, but stena is the mental laziness and alasya is the physical laziness. And you all know that the physical laziness and mental laziness work together. They are interdependent, right? For example, we can take example from our daily life. Suppose it's a rainy morning, your alarm is ringing. Okay, now your mental laziness, uh, you know, mental laziness want to apply its decision, and decision is this is a beautiful weather. You must enjoy your sleep. And now it it influences the physical laziness, and just our one hand goes to the clock and we stop the clock and enjoy 2, 3, 4 hours extra sleep. Yes, we have missed the practical class. We have missed our daily practice, right? But mental laziness and physical laziness now do not allow us to practice, something good. It makes obstacle in our practices. It makes obstacle for any kind of, initiatives. Secondly, again, sometimes physical laziness influences the mental laziness. For example, sorry. Sometimes physical laziness influences your mental laziness. How? Suppose you have a plan that I have some doubt on Iswara and Iswara Pranidhana, so I must watch the video again, and I must watch it. I have a plan to watch it before the class. I mean, I will start from 7 o'clock. But from 6 o'clock, you have started to watch a TV, and a beautiful, a very interesting movie is there. Now you will be physically uh, dull, and that is why now your physical laziness, captures your mental initiative. You have a plan to repeat the class to to understand Iswara and Iswara Pranidhana through the video, to the recording video. Now your physical, you are mentally active, but your physical dullness doesn't allow it. So in this way, physical laziness and mental laziness work together, and they are interdependent. Okay, and these two are, very dangerous obstacles in the path of yoga. Next one is samsaya. Very interesting term, samsaya, doubts. Now you may ask a question, sir. If we don't have any doubt, then how can I understand anything properly? And after every class, you ask for 3, 4 times, do you have any doubt? Do you have any doubt? And now you are trying to teach us that samsaya, doubt, is obstacle in the path of yoga. If Arjuna did not have the doubt, then Gita, we will not have, we may not have the Gita. Because of the Arjuna's doubt, we have Gita. So we have to understand this samsaya very carefully. Actually, the original teaching is Patanjali wants to teach us that yes, you must have the doubt. Without doubt, you can't proceed. But you must not have that kind of doubt which will make you judgmental. I mean, if you don't have faith on Yoga Sutra, if you don't have faith on your teachers, if you don't have faith on Vedic wisdom, then everything will be bekar. Right? So you must have the doubt. But after a certain period, you must have faith on the scriptures, on the techniques of the ancient gurus, and you must have the faith on the guidance of your guru. Okay, so this is the teaching, and that is why in when we are discussing about the Jnana Yoga, there are 4 steps of practices. Third one was Samadhi Satka Sampatti, 6 types of cultivation of 6 positive attitudes, And the last one was Shraddha. Guru Vedanta Vakyesu Viswasa Shraddha. So you must have the faith, you must have the devotion for the gurus and the teachings of the ancient teachers. Okay? Otherwise, it will be a obstacle in the path of yoga. The next one is pramada. Again, it is another very interesting term, pramada, heedlessness. It is actually that kind of attitude because of which we want to break rules consciously or unconsciously. For example, suppose you are visiting a very heritage place. It is undertaken by Archaeological Survey of India, and warning is there, photography is strictly prohibited, but you have a zeal to take at least one photo. That kind of attitude is obstacle. If your guru says that you must not practice advanced level asana right now because you have some problem in basic level, first you must fulfill all the aspects of basic level. You must achieve expertise in basic level, then you must practice the advanced level. But okay, and said, but I must try at least one posture. That kind of attitude is pramada. Okay. Then avirati. Again, avirati is a very important term, and we have to break it to understand the beauty of this term. Avirati, we can break it into three parts, and it's a, second one is V, and third one is rati. Now rati means attachment, which is prohibited in yoga. If we add V, then it's virati, and now it means non-attachment, vairagya. It is the goal of yoga. Then again, if we add a, then again it means avirati, it means attachment. Again, it is prohibited in yoga. So this term want to say that avirati is not a general attachment, but it is something very stubborn, something very rigid attachment, which is very difficult to overcome. That is why there are twice we can find twice negativity, two times negativity, and that is why it wants to teach you that you this avirati is not a simple attachment. It is something very difficult to overcome. Right? Next one is bhanti darsana. Bhanti means false, and darsana has two meanings. One is we can say darsana means philosophy, and darsana means vision. Okay. Now, if we take the meaning of if we take darsana as philosophy, then bhanti darsana means your wrong understanding of philosophical views. If you don't understand the philosophy properly, then it will create trouble in your path. Okay, that's one. And second one is vision. This is the false vision. False vision, now you can explain it. There are so many expressions are there, but I want to give you a very simple one. I said earlier that if a practitioner of yoga practice the yogic prescription properly, then after a certain period, he will be experiencing some very peculiar experiences, some peculiar things, like he can touch the moon, he can make himself as light as the cotton, as the feather. he can experience it. And due to this kind of vision, as he's experiencing, eh, as he experiencing these kind of things, that yes, I can touch the moon, I can touch the sun, I can make myself as big as Himalaya. These peculiar things, due to this peculiar vision, he thinks that yes, I have achieved my goal. And now the general people, the common people, worship him, and that is why he uh, decides that yes, I have achieved the goal, I am the supreme one, because I can do all these extraordinary things. And he gives up the further practice of yoga. This is a very, very dangerous obstacle in the path of yoga. This is called Bhranti Darsana, false, wrong vision. Okay. The next one is Alabdha Bhumikattva, very interesting term, condition of inability to attain a particular stage. That means, suppose a practitioner of yoga is practicing yoga throughout his life, he has already attained some higher level of concentration. Now he is almost only very near to the state of samadhi, but due to some strong impression, due to some strong sanskara, he fails to achieve the state of samadhi. But he is trying hard. He is trying according to the teaching of his guru. He is trying, he is practicing yoga as per the prescription of the scriptures. But still, he fails to attain the state of samadhi. And in this state, sometimes the practitioner gives up his practice. So this is actually the concept of alabdha bhumika. Okay, in spite of the proper practicing of yoga, if someone fails to attain the high state, then it is the obstacle, because it will make him very depressed, hopeless, and he will give up the practice of yoga. And the last one is very painful state, anavasthitatva, instability. That means, suppose a practitioner of yoga has already experienced the state of samadhi, but again due to the reactive, due to some sanskara, as it is not the nirbija samadhi, as it is the sabija samadhi. Now again his sanskara has been reactivated, and due to the reactivation of samskara, now he failed from the state of samadhi, and he again tries to attain the state of samadhi through the same technique, through the same process, but can't. It is more painful state, because he has already experienced the blissfulness of the state of samadhi, but due to some sanskaras, he failed from that state, and now, in spite of practicing same technique, same method, he can't attain that state. This is the meaning of anavasthitatva. And again, yes, it also makes a practitioner very hopeless, and due to this also, some practitioner give up their practice. So these are the 9 obstacles in the path of yoga. Now, again, the students of yoga says that yes, we have understood what are the obstacles, but sir, uh, our chitta is very disturbed due to our anger, due to our greediness, due to our desire. Our chitta is very disturbed. How can we bring peace? How can we get the blissfulness? How can we get the state which is the blissfulness state of chitta? How can we bring peace? It's a very common question of the people, that how can we experience peace? Now, Patanjali says that tat pratishedhartham ekatatvabhyasa. If you want to overcome the disturbances of chitta, that means chitta vikshepas or obstacles of chitta, obstacles in the path of yoga, antarayas. If you want to overcome these obstacles, if you want to overcome the disturbances of chitta, then you have to practice one principle, ekatattva abhyasa. Now again, ekatattva abhyasa, it's a very important term, and it has three parts. One is eka, that means one, tattva means principle, and abhyasa means practice. Now we can translate it as practice of one principle, or we can translate it as one principle, and that is practice. Right? So maybe ekatatyabhyasa means practice of one principle, or maybe it is one principle and that is abhyasa, that is practice. So practice is the main thing. But now, what is ekatattva? There are a very deep philosophical debate is there. But actually, the scholar of Vedanta philosophy, they want to say that ekatattva, that means the supreme being or the Brahman, which is one without second. That is why it is ekatattva. So practice of meditation and Brahman is the ekatattva abhyasa according to Vedanta. But we must take the meaning of Vachaspati Misra, who is the commentator of the Vyasa Bhasya. He says Ekatatya Abhyasa, that means the practice of Iswara Tattva. Ekatatya, that means Iswara Tattva. According to Vachaspati Misra, Ekatattva means Iswara Tattva, because he says that Patanjali has already told you that Iswara is the special case of Iswara is the special case of Purusa, and that is why it is omnipresent, it is unlimited, without beginning and without end, and that is why ekatattva means the practice of Iswara Tattva. Okay, so Patanjali's first suggestion is, if you want to enjoy the blissfulness of chitta, then the first thing is you have to go through the ekatattva abhyasa. Now again, he says that there are 7 techniques we have to bring peace in chitta, which are called the technique of chitta prasadana. Okay, there are 7 techniques of chitta prasadana, but the first one is considered as the master technique of chitta prasadana, which is Maitri Karuna Muditopekshānaṁ Shukha Dukha Punya Punya Vishayanam Bhavanata Chitta Prasadanam. So we have 8 very important words: Maitri Karuna Mudita Upeksha, Sukha Dukha Punya and Apunya. Now we have to understand the technique. Actually, in this sutra, Patanjali gives 4 key instructions to the students of yoga. Actually, the main theme of this technique is cultivation of the positive attitude in place of the negative attitude. How? The first instruction, Maitri Shukha, that means showing friendliness, showing love to those people who are happy, who are in pleasure. You have to show your love to those people who are happy. But the general attitude of people is something different. If people around you are happy, somehow you feel very jealous that my neighbor is so happy. Okay, they have bought Mercedes. Okay, I have also Mercedes, but they have top model. That is why they are happy. Oh, they are happy because uh, his uh, his girl has achieved 90%. This kind of happiness of others, the common thing is we become very jealous. It is a common attitude problem. Patanjali's prescription is you have to cultivate love in place of that jealous. Second was karuna dukkha, showing kindness to those who are in pain. But general common attitude is we feel very very happy if the people around us are not happy. But Patanjali's prescription is you have to cultivate kindness in place of pleasure. Third one is mudita and punya, showing happiness to those who are virtuous or who are meritorious. But again, common attitude is if some meritorious man receives honor from others, then it make us very, very depressed. That he is receiving honor from others, I feel very depressed. Right? So Patanjali's prescription is you have to cultivate happiness in place of that depression. And again, upeksha and apunya, that means you have to show your indifference to those who are sinners. Common attitude is when a sinner gets punishment, we feel very happy. But Patanjali's prescription is you have to withdraw from that kind of happiness. You must remain, neutral in this kind of incidents. Okay, so now the prescription is you have to cultivate indifference in place of your happiness. So now you are gradually increasing love, kindness, happiness, and indifference, and gradually you are decreasing the pleasure, the jealous, the depression, and the satisfaction. And now you'll be happy person. If you don't have any depression, if you don't have any kind of pleasure, you don't have any kind of jealous, but you can give love to all. You are now samadarsi. So in this way, you can bring peace in your chitta. Okay? This is the master technique. It is the best technique for chitta prasadana. Now the second one is prachardana vidharana bhyang va pranasya. Again, here we have a very common misconception. Some scholars I have seen personally that they say that this is the one version of pranayama. Some I have heard from some scholars, but it is not actually. Prachardana vidharanabhyam or pranasya, the general meaning of this sutra is inhalation and exhalation of prana, the vital force. Now we have to understand very carefully that Patanjali must not mention a thing which is just a common inhalation exhalation or which is same like the pranayama. It is considered as a technique of chitta prasadana. That is, you have to learn the term. Prachardana, again, we can divide it in two parts. One is pra, that means in a very technical manner, and chardana means exhalation. So, prachardana means exhalation in a technical manner. Now, vidharana, again, it has two parts. One is V, one is dharana. V means in a special manner. And a dharana has two meanings. One is holding and one is inhalation. But we must take it as inhalation, because if we don't take it as inhalation, then how can we establish the logic of exhalation? So it is not exactly normal rhythm of breathing, and it is not actually pranayama. It is some special technique of exhalation in a very technical manner, and inhalation in a very special manner. And prana means the vital force. You know that without vital force, the absence of vital force means death, and we can't control prana, because it is it goes on autonomously. But yes, through the techniques of pranayama, we can have a voluntary control over it to some extent. And there are 5 types of prana: prana, pana, bayana, samana, udana. All these things we know very well. So my understanding is that maybe it is a special technique of breathing, but we have lost the technique. We have lost the technique. We could bring peace of chitta through this kind of breathing, but unfortunately we have lost it. That doesn't mean that we explain it as the pranayama, or we explain it as the normal breathing. So it is a special technique of breathing, which is the technique of chitta prasadana, which could help us in bringing peace in our mind. The next technique is विषयगति वा प्रवृत्ति उत्पन्ना मनस स्थिति निबंधिनी. Now again, it is a very beautiful technique. Actually, this sutra suggests you that you have to play a game with your mind. The mind is vishayagati, always full with different subjects. Subjects mean external objects or external phenomenon, right? So mind always thinks about something. Now you have to use this tendency of your mind. What is the technique? Technique is you have to allow your mind to think, but you have to restrict it, that it must think about only one thing. And if you can do it, then your mind will be fixed on a single object. And now, due to the connection between one object, connection with one object, now a sensation comes in different organs according to the character of that object. And this sensation is so beautiful, so exceptional, that your mind wants to remain there for a long, long time. And in that way, you can train your mind to be concentrated. Okay? It is the Vishayavati Pravriti Utpanna Manasa Sthiti Nibandhi. Then the fourth technique is Vishokava Jyotishmati. Again, the technique is that you have to concentrate on light, but it is not the external light, it is the inner light. That means again you have to allow your mind to imagine the light, and you have to concentrate, that means you have to allow your mind to concentrate on the on that imagination of light. And now through this meditation on light, you can achieve the concentration of your mind. Vivekananda has explained this technique very, very beautifully. He says that just imagine the Hridhi Padma, lotus of the heart. Now, when you are inhaling, just imagine that petals are remain downwards. And when you are exhaling, imagine that the petals of that lotus remain the upward. And now imagine a light inside that Padma and concentrate on it. You can manage to bring peace in your mind. Okay? Next one is Vitaraga Vishayam Vachittam. That means, again, it's very, very simple and common technique. You have to follow a man who is virtuous, who is totally free from all kind of attachments. And you have to meditate on that person. Suppose you are meditating on Swami Vivekananda. Right? What I make it very simple. You can see that there are so many people who are the mad fan of Shahrukh Khan. They want to talk like Shahrukh Khan. Their hairstyle is like Shahrukh Khan. Their dress sense is like Shahrukh Khan. They think like Shahrukh Khan. Just you have to change your role model. Instead of Shahrukh Khan, you have to put Swami Vivekananda, and you have to do according to a fan of Shahrukh Khan. That means if you are concentrating on Swami Vivekananda, that means you are now thinking, you are trying to think according to the Swami Vivekananda. Now you are trying to read all the works of Swami Vivekananda. Now you are behaving like Swami Vivekananda. You are talking like Swami Vivekananda. You want to make your daily routine like Swami Vivekananda. These kind of technique will help you to bring peace in your chitta. Dhitaraga Vishayam Chitta. The next one is Sapna Nidra Jnana Lambanam Va. Now again, you may raise your question that, sir, you told when you are teaching about the vritti that nidra is nothingness, experience of nothingness, and here you can see that sleep has also a very significant role in our life. Sapna nidra jnana lambanam va. The sleep, which is dreamful sleep, the technique is you have to utilize your dream. How? Sometimes there are two types of dream. One type of dream make us very happy, and another type of dreams make us very unhappy. You have to give up those dreams which make you unhappy. You have to use those dreams which make you happy. Sometimes we dream that angels are coming to me, I am talking to the angels, and we experience a very deep level of happiness. And sometimes this kind of happiness makes a deep impression within us. Instruction is just continue this happiness. Hold that happiness, hold that impression of happiness, and just continue that vibe of happiness. You have to start from that gross form of happiness, and thoroughly you have to achieve the subtle level of happiness. But now you have a happy vibe within you. That is why you must take it in use. You must use it. Right? So this is the technique, Sapnitra Jnanalambanangma. And last one is very interesting. Yathabhimata Dhyanadva. I said in my first class that our ancestors were not rigid. They are very open. Now you can see the example. Yathabhimata Dhyanadva, or you can meditate on an object according to your choice, according to one's own liking. But again, Vyasa has explained it that it doesn't mean that you can meditate on a sinful object. You have to take those kind of objects which can lead you in the path of yoga, which can lead you in the path of the virtue, right? And maybe it is the scenic beauty of Lonavala, maybe, but you must take those objects which have the eligibility to lead you in the path of yoga. I can remember a story of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Once a lady devotee of Ramakrishna, she came to Ramakrishna and told that, "Oh my Lord, you instructed me that you must practice concentration, and then tried hard. I tried to concentrate on the idol of Sri Krishna, on Sivalinga, on the photograph of you, of yourself, but I could not. Am I ineligible for practicing the concentration? How can I practice concentration?" Now Sri Ramakrishna asked to his devotee that, "Who is the person in your family you love most?" He replied, "My nephew." Then he again asked, "How old is he?" "He is just 2 years old." "Okay, then concentrate on your nephew like Bal Gopala. Right? Now you are giving service to Bal Gopala, not to your nephew." So you can practice concentration in this way also. That is why it is Jathabhimata Dhyanatma. But it must be something which can lead you in the path of yoga. So these are the 7 techniques of Chitta Prasadana, and I have mentioned it, in very brief. And one very important thing we have to remember, that these 7 techniques are only for the preparatory state of concentration. When your mind is too much fickle, you have to go through these techniques, and you have to bring an initial level of concentration. Whenever you can achieve that initial level of concentration, you have to give up these processes, because these are not the process which can lead you up to the highest. That is why this is for a very preliminary level. This is for the preliminary level of concentration practice. After uh, initial level of concentration, you have to give up all these techniques and you have to take higher techniques to attain the highest concentration. You have to remember it very carefully. These are just for those who are the beginners. But in advanced level, you have to give up all these techniques. Okay. So that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. I know that it is too short. I'm sorry, very sorry, but I have made it too short. Uh, but I think you have, you know, you have a little bit idea about these techniques of Chitta Prasadana and Antarayas.
Sir, I got a question.
Yes, please ask.
So why does this Antarayas come? It is because of our own mind thinking or something else also related?
Because our mind is fickle. That is why.
Only the
That
mind.
is why Antarayas come. That is why Patanjali gives you the synonyms, and I explained it. That actually the term Chitta Vikshapa, justifies the term Antaraya. He says Chitta Vikshapa means which makes the disturbances in Chitta. So it is the fact that when you are not in the path of yoga, you are not in the path of Vedanta, you are not in the path of Jnana Yoga, you are not in the path of Bhakti Yoga. That means when you are not practicing anything for yourself, for discovering your the real me, the real essence of yourself, then your mind is very much fickle and antarayas are coming and trying to make a wall between you, the gross you, and the subtle you. Right? So that is why the antarayas come and function in their own way.
How about sickness, sir? Sickness,
Sickness.
disease.
Yes, it is a beautiful term because according to Patanjali, all the disease comes from inner side. That is why this is Chitta Vikshepa. Disease is also the disturbances of Chitta. So all the diseases originate from the our mind.
Adicha Vyadi.
This is the indication of Patanjali that if you can control your mind, you can control all the disease. Okay, there are so many diseases which comes due to your mental fickleness.
सर अलब्ध भूमिकत्व थोड़ा नहीं
Alabdha bhumikatva, that means you are practicing yoga according to the prescription of your guru, according to the prescription of the scriptures, and yes, you have experienced some higher level of concentration,
yes
but still you have not achieved the highest level of concentration. In spite of your daily practice, in spite of the very disciplined practice, if you fail to attain the highest state, then it will make you very depressed. It will make you hopeless. Okay, and you may give up your practices. This is the obstacle. That means the instruction is whatever the condition is, you must not give up your practice. You will achieve the highest goal. You will achieve it. Surely you will achieve it. Maybe in this birth, maybe in upcoming birth, but you will attain it because you are, our sanskaras. the influence of the sanskaras of our previous birth also work in our present birth. Whatever we are doing good,
Hmm.
we will be enjoying in our upcoming birth, because still we are not the liberated one. We are
Yeah.
not Jivan Mukta. That is why we have other birth. Hmm? We have Datasya hi dhruvo mittu dhruvang janma mritasya cha. Hmm? If we have birth, then we must have the death, and we are in the cycle of this birth and death and birth and death. And our target is to break the cycle of this birth and death, to circle of the samsara.
Hmm.
Okay, this is our target, that I must break the circle of samsara.
Hmm.
Right?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Any
I
other
have
question?
two queries, sir.
Yes.
One, you told this Bhranti Darshana is false perception or false vision. So
Hmm.
the false vision, if we practice and we experience certain powers, are those which you meant as like siddhis? After that, we are getting like, oh, I have attained and we stop. Is that
Yes.
the right thing?
Yes. Yes.
Siddhis. That is the siddhis. Okay, sir. And the next one is the anavasti tattva. In there, you told that we experience a state of samadhi, but we are unable to continue. Is it because of the samskaras?
Samskara.
And due to the actions, whatever we do currently, because of that, is it because of that?
Because of our the impressions of our previous work, previous
Oh, it's
actions.
not the one which we do currently. It is because of the previous work it
Previous,
happens.
right.
Okay.
Through these practices, you are trying to carve the impressions. You want to be impressionless.
Okay.
And there are very interesting steps in samadhi yoga. When we have this lecture on samadhi, we'll be discussing there that at the state of ritambhara prajna, still you will have impression, but one impression, that is the impression due to the ritambhara prajna. Ritambhara prajna also creates impression, but uh, the advantage is the impression of ritambhara prajna kills all other impressions. And now your journey is to remove the impression of the ritambhara prajna. So at the state of samadhi, as I said earlier, that it is the the beginning of the experience. Samadhi, that means maybe you have achieved the sabija samadhi. Sabija samadhi is also a state when you can experience beautiful peace. But as it is samadhi, sabija, that means you are still at the state of ekagra, not niruddha. As it is the sabija, seed is there. That is why maybe anytime it comes into the function, and it will pull down you from that state. So samadhi, that's why I said earlier, and always say that samadhi is not the goal, it is the beginning of the goal. There are so many layers: sabija samadhi, nirbija samadhi. Again, we have another term, samprajignata. Then there are so many stages, eh? And at the end comes nirbija samadhi, and at the end comes kaivalya. Okay.
Yes.
Any other questions from anyone? Motoko ma'am, do you have any question? Manish sir, do you have any question?